The lesson of Zeno, the birth of Stoicism. In the ancient city of Cyprus around 300 BC, there lived a merchant of great wealth named Zeno. His fortune was vast, earned through years of trading across the Mediterranean. But on one fateful journey from Phoenicia to the port of Piraeus, disaster struck. A sudden storm consumed his ship, sending every bit of cargo to the ocean floor. In a matter of moments, what had taken a lifetime to build was gone. Zeno, once a man of immense means, was reduced to having nothing. Imagine yourself in his place, your life's work destroyed in an instant by forces far beyond your control. Would you rage against fate, collapse into despair, feel robbed by life itself? These responses would be common, even expected, but Zeno chose a different path. This man, who would become the founder of Stoicism, reacted with a calm acceptance that baffled most. His loss became the seed of a philosophy that has endured for over 2 millennia. One small shift in perspective can ripple across a lifetime. Zeno discovered that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can master how we respond. That mastery is the core of Stoicism: acceptance without surrender, composure without denial. After immersing himself in the wisdom of Socrates and other great thinkers, Zeno began teaching a new way of living. His message was clear: the events of the world are not ours to govern, but our reactions are fully within our power. The question is never why did this happen, but how will I meet it? What Stoicism really means today. The word Stoic is often used to describe someone who feels nothing, who avoids extremes of emotion. But the original idea was far richer. Stoicism was not emotional numbness. It was a way of seeing the world that allowed one to live with clarity and purpose, regardless of fortune or misfortune. For the Stoics, life was not something to escape from when it turned harsh. It was something to engage with fully, using hardship as a forge for inner strength. This approach works as well today as it did thousands of years ago. Turning pain into perspective, Stoicism teaches us how to process difficulty without letting it destroy us. This openness produced some of history's most remarkable Stoics. Epictetus, once a slave, whose name means acquired. Seneca, a statesman whose writings still guide millions. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled Rome. They lived by the principle of equality. They coined the term cosmopolitan, citizen of the world, to express their belief in human unity. At a time when philosophy was often barred to women, Stoics welcomed them. Musonius Rufus, teacher of Epictetus, declared that women were equally capable of virtue and deserved the same education in wisdom as men. Why Stoicism endures. Life will always deliver the unexpected. Often it's not the event itself that crushes us, but the fact that it blindsides us. Rain, for example, benefits crops, fills rivers, and cools the air. Yet getting caught without an umbrella feels miserable. The rain itself is not new to us. Our discomfort comes when it surprises us. The Stoic solution is to expect misfortune as part of life's design. By imagining the worst before it arrives, we rob it of its power to shock us, training the mind through discomfort. One of their practices, voluntary discomfort, trained resilience and gratitude. This meant deliberately choosing hardship in small doses, sleeping on the floor, taking cold showers, eating only simple foods. By enduring what is unpleasant, they learned they could survive far more than they imagined. Such training prepared the mind for real trials when they inevitably came, guarding against false needs. In the modern world, we're constantly told that happiness depends on possessions, appearances, and wealth. Without the newest gadget, the perfect look, or a certain income, we're led to believe we are incomplete. From birth, we are shaped by lessons from our families, schools, and personal experiences. But much of what we are taught carries hidden expectations that may not serve us. When we measure ourselves against these artificial standards, disappointment is inevitable. The Stoic approach is different. Act for your own improvement, guided by your own values. Seek no reward beyond the act itself, placing your happiness in external things, wealth, status, or recognition. is a dangerous bargain. True stability comes only from within. A Stoic's goal is to be content in any situation, whether fortune smiles or turns away. This isn't about rejecting success or comfort. It's about making sure they are additions of life, not the source of life itself. Expecting change and loss. The Stoics taught that nothing in the world truly belongs to us. Not possessions, not even the people we love. We are simply borrowing them for a time. Loss, then, is not a failure or injustice, but the natural conclusion of the time we were given together. By remembering this, we stop clinging so tightly to what we cannot keep. And when the inevitable changes come, whether small inconveniences or deep heartbreaks, we can meet them without falling apart, living by reason, not reaction. Modern life tempts us to react instantly to everything. A rude comment, a piece of bad news, a shift in fortune. The Stoic approach slows this impulse. Before responding, they would ask, "Is this within my control?" If yes, act with reason. If not, accept it as it is and conserve your energy for what you can influence. This mental filter is like a shield against needless suffering. It does not mean you feel nothing. It means you are not ruled by every passing storm of emotion. Why Stoicism still matter? In a time when we are overloaded with information, opinions, and expectations, Stoicism offers a compass. It tells us to live in harmony with reality rather than fight it, to root our happiness in what we can truly govern, our own thoughts, choices, and character. It is not a call to withdraw from life, but to engage with it wisely, to work hard without clinging to outcomes, to care deeply without being shattered by change. Zeno's shipwreck could have ended his story. Instead, it began one that still guides people today. Stoicism does not promise an easy life. It promises a strong one. And that, perhaps, is the only security we can ever truly have, placing value where it belongs. Cars eventually break down. Natural disasters can erase entire cities in a moment. Divorce rates continue to climb year after year. Even things we think of as free often demand a price measured in physical and mental space. At the heart of Stoicism lies the dichotomy of control, the practice of separating what we can influence from what we cannot. As Epictetus explained, the essential task in life is to clearly identify which matters are outside our control and which depend on our own decisions. Once we see that distinction, we can focus on what truly belongs to us, our choices, our effort, and our attitude. Striving toward goals is healthy, but letting our self-worth collapse when those goals aren't met is wasted energy. A Stoic directs their energy toward what they can do and releases what they cannot change. Effort over outcome. Consider any creative project. There's the spark of an idea, the research, the refining, the writing, the building, all of which are within your control. But once the work is released into the world, the outcome rests on forces you can't dictate. Trends, timing, the opinions of others. Many people judge the worth of their work on numbers, recognition, or approval, all external measures. A Stoic, instead, measures success by the effort and integrity they put into the work itself. This approach frees you from the roller coaster of external validation and keeps you grounded in the process. Living with less is not deprivation. It is freedom from the invisible chains of expectation. Reframing disappointment. Picture someone who has been working hard for 6 months, expecting a promotion. When the opportunity comes, they present their performance record to their manager, only to be told, no. They walk away discouraged, assuming they've failed. What they don't see are the countless other factors at play. The company may be facing budget cuts. Another person might have been a better fit for that role at the time. Or perhaps the decision maker was simply in a bad mood. None of these reflect the actual quality of their work. If this person measured their value by their effort rather than the decision's outcome, the rejection would feel like a delay. not a defeat. The goal would remain, just postponed. This shift in perspective is powerful. The four virtues of Stoicism. The Stoic tradition centers on four guiding virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom is knowing the difference between what's within your power and what's not, and choosing your responses. Temperance means moderation, doing more with less, speaking with precision, living within the bounds of enough. Wealth to a Stoic is having what is essential and nothing beyond. Justice is the highest virtue, to harm no one, to recognize that we are born for one another, and to act in service of the common good. A modern example of Stoicism in action. Nelson Mandela, one of the most respected leaders of the modern era, spent 27 years in prison during his struggle against apartheid. Upon his release and rise to the presidency of South Africa, many expected vengeance. Instead, Mandela called for reconciliation and rebuilding. During his imprisonment, he read works of Marcus Aurelius and absorbed Stoic principles, choosing to focus on the future rather than cling to the past. He understood that the past was beyond anyone's control, but the present and future could be shaped by unity and purpose. Stoicism in modern psychology. Today, elements of Stoicism are woven into therapies like rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, and logotherapy. REBT helps people identify harmful thought patterns and challenge them with logic, replacing them with healthier beliefs. Logotherapy, rooted in the Stoic idea that life's driving force is meaning, teaches that even in the darkest times, we can find purpose, and through that purpose, peace. Rewriting our definition of value. Happiness is deeply tied to how we define our worth. When we place value on things within our control, our integrity, our actions, our persistence, we free ourselves from the frustration of chasing what we can never guarantee. Stoicism doesn't promise a life free of storms, but it does teach us how to navigate them. And if the worst should come, if the ship sinks and the journey ends sooner than we hoped, we can rest in the knowledge that we lived with intention and courage, because everything in time must have an end. If this lesson spoke to you, then you've already taken your first step on the Stoic way. Keep walking with us, because the journey only gets deeper from here.